Do you ever feel like you're chasing more money with no clear goal? Today, I'm going to help you figure out exactly how much money you need to feel secure and stop chasing more money for more sake. I'm talking about your enough number, the number where you can live financially free on your terms without having to do anything you don't want to do. We'll talk about how to think through your timeline and cost of living, how inflation and taxes factor in, and how your investments impact the equation. And the best part? It's simpler than you think. It also sets off a huge smile on my clients' faces when they realize they are a lot closer than they think to reaching their financial goals. I'm Tamar Hermes, and this is the Women Growing Wealth podcast, where I show women how to make, invest, and keep more money the women's way. Let's dive in. Take a moment to reflect on how much energy and stress you live with every day, chasing money, and not really knowing how much is actually enough for you to feel financially free. What is not knowing your enough number actually costing you? Well, not much, only possibly a lifetime of confusion and stress over money. Not knowing your money can keep you up at night. It can push you to keep chasing income even when you don't need to or want to. I talk about it a lot because it costs me. I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars after I had already surpassed my number because I didn't know what my number was. I thought I needed more, so I took investment risks that didn't make sense. I didn't have the financial education I needed. I didn't know how to feel secure with what I had, so I quietly stressed. I took jobs I didn't want, and I never felt in charge of making money work for me. It's not a great way to live, and I did it for years. And I know I'm not alone. Most women do the same because we haven't been taught to think this way. We've been taught to keep working, keep saving, keep investing, and hope it eventually adds up to freedom. But now, when you know your number, you can stop guessing and you can start asking better questions. Can I afford to take a break and have a child? Should I buy this property or should I wait? Is my current strategy actually getting me closer to the life I want financially? Your enough number is the amount of invested capital you'd need to cover your lifestyle through passive income without touching your principal. And remember, that passive income can come from all kinds of income streams. I have clients who have courses. I have clients who have real estate. I have clients who get money from their businesses. Before we get started into numbers, I want to do a reality check. Most people wildly overestimate what they need. Tony Robbins talks about this frequently when he speaks on the subject. He'll ask his audience to dream up their life and ask how much money they'd want to live that way. And they usually will throw out $10, $20 million. And he'll say, great. Now, what do you need that money for? What will you spend it on? Well, I'd have a housekeeper twice a week. I'd have a personal chef. I'd fly first-class vacations once a year. I'd have college funds for my kids, healthcare, a little bit of flexibility, and a peace of mind. Then he says, cool, now price that out. Guess what? It doesn't nearly add up to the amount of money that the person thinks they need. It's not a jet. It's not an island. And guess what? It doesn't add up to $10 and $20 million. It's not a jet. It's not an island. It's often just a few $100,000 a year, and sometimes even less. You don't need to be a billionaire to feel free. You need to know what your real life costs and what kinds of returns your money needs to produce in order to support it. This number also isn't about scrimping and saving and coming up with a tight budget to live on, adding up your weekly Starbucks cappuccinos and making sure every dollar is accounted for. No, this number is one where you live, where you have all that you really want. It includes all the things you want. And if that's a private plane, that's okay. At least after this exercise, you'll have a clear target. As Tony says, people think they need 10 or 20 million dollars, but once they do the math, it's actually far less. You can be financially free a lot sooner than you think when you know your real number. The moving parts of the enough number are straightforward, but stick with me for the entire episode so you don't tell yourself you'll figure it out when you have more time, because that generally does not happen. You may want to grab a pen and a piece of paper right now and take some notes. First, I want you to look at your actual lifestyle cost, not your survival budget and not what someone else thinks is reasonable. What does your life cost to fund fully with breathing room, support, and flexibility? A lot of my clients are so busy, they haven't taken the time to figure this out. That's one of the huge values of my mastermind. We take time to look at allocating what you need to create your growth. Next, try and estimate how long you would need that income for. If you're 45 now and you want to be work optional by the time you're 55, that money needs to work for you for approximately 35 years because life expectancy has gotten pretty long. Now, granted, you likely won't be flying first class to Aruba for a month when you're 90, so your expenses may go down a little, but they may not. The longer your lifetime, the more income your capital needs to generate. And look, I don't believe in retirement as a total exit from purpose or contribution. I love to work and bring value into the world, and I don't think of it as work. If I want to travel and slow down, or I want to take off a bit, that's the point. I want that freedom. The third piece you want to look at is what your investments are earning. This will change everything. If investments are working hard for you, it can boost up the lever of passive income that works for you, whether you work or not, and decreases the amount of money you need. This money can be drastic. From 10% interest income to 5% is a huge difference over time. Most women I meet aren't clear on what their money is actually earning for them in investments. In my mentorship, we walk through all the real investment options and build diversified portfolios because this is the lever that can move your whole plan. We also look at what they're actually making. If your capital is earning 10% annually in funds, real estate, or lending, that's one path. Again, if it's sitting in an account earning 0.004%, that's a very different equation. You cannot separate your enough number from your investment strategy if you want to hit your goals. The next piece of your financial puzzle is the tax bill. If you live in California, New York, or New Jersey, state taxes alone can really eat into your returns quickly. Another reason my investment group works diligently to not only gain access to investments with high returns, but we also need to look at tax strategy and mitigation. If you don't build in a strategy to reduce your tax burden, you could need 30% more to live on in the same way. If you don't build a strategy in to reduce your tax burden, you could be paying up to 37% more just to live in the way that you want. The last part of the equation is inflation. This is a sneaky one, and yet it's extremely critical. Inflation is the decline of purchasing power over time. Even low inflation at 3% will cut your buying power in half over 25 years. And lately, it's been even higher than that. So that $15,000 lifestyle you love, it may feel like a $10,000 lifestyle in a decade. If you plan to live a long, full, healthy life, and I hope you do, you need to make sure your income can keep up with the devaluation of the dollar. Don't fret though. That's why Women Growing Wealth puts out a new episode every week. We're here for you. Some women hit their enough number on paper, only to realize 5 years later it isn't stretching the way that they thought. That's why the number isn't fixed. It's a living number, and your strategy needs to grow with it as you're making more money in investments, in income, maybe paying less taxes, inflation fluctuations. It's going to modify a bit. Your number should give you a lot of direction. It tells you where you stand, and it'll help you understand your next move. That's what goals are for, to help you stop spinning and start deciding. So, here's what I've done for you. I created a free enough calculator for you to walk through this. All the categories we talked about, lifestyle, timeline, inflation, taxes, and return on investment, are built into the calculator. You can get your enough number by going to getyourenoughcalculator.com right now. You'll find the link in the show notes as well. Please use it. You may realize you're further from your number than you thought, or much closer than you expected. Either way, now you'll know. And once you know, you can plan your next move. Even with moderate fluctuations, you can continue to use that grid to modify your number depending on how you're moving through your life. Once you have a baseline, it's easy to make modifications and have a direction of where you're going. And if you want help analyzing your number and building your strategy to get there, that's what we do in the Women Growing Wealth Investor Mentorship. Because knowing your number isn't just about money, it's about peace, choice, and finally feeling like you're in control. And knowing your number is only the first step. Gaining access to investment opportunities, understanding how to grow wealth and save on taxes is really the next step. If you're a financially successful woman earning $200,000 a year or more, book a call with me now at callwithtamar.com and see if our community is right for you. And if you benefited from this episode, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and let us know that we supported you. And if you just want to share your enough number and got some big aha out of it, either email us at abundance@womengrowingwealth.com or go ahead and pop us a note on LinkedIn or Instagram at Tamar Hermes. Thanks for listening or watching Women Growing Wealth wherever you are, and we'll look forward to speaking with you soon.